Dyes from lichen. We know that lichen is a mutualistic association, a symbiotic association between a fungal partner and an algal partner. In fact, this association has been continuing for millions of years. And this fungal partner or the mycobiont, it is dependent upon the algal partner, that is the photobiont, for its food. In return, it protects the photobiont from both environmental hazards as well as physical protection. If it is a very high temperature or high intensity of sunlight, then the fungal partner protects the algae from it, as well as the algae is physically protected, means it provides a framework on which the algae can stay, both hydrated as well as also this lichen fungi, it produces several secondary metabolites that acts as a sunscreen for high intensity of sunlight. Now, this is what lichen is, and I have discussed about dyes from lichen in another video, the first part of this video. So before you watch this video, I would request you to just watch the part 1 of this video and then watch the part 2. So we know that all the living plants they produce some sort of dyes. Some are produced from leaves of the angiospermic plants, others produced from the hardwood of the angiospermic plant or the root. Even animals like some type of snails or cochineal insect, they produces dye. And all the organic dyes either produced from either plants or animals or lichen, they are very costly, because as the amount of dye obtained from this organic source is very time consuming, and also the quantity is very little. So these dyes, they are very expensive, and due to this expense and time consuming, they have become economically unviable. And so these lichenic dyes are now replaced by chemical dyes, just like the organic plant dyes replaced by chemical dyes. So we should know about what the lichenic dyes are, and I have discussed also the various type of lichens, and what are the various type of lichens and what the dyes they produce. And in this video I will be just discussing about the how the three processes of dye preparation alters the color of the dye. For example, the ammonia method, it produces a different type of dye that is quite different from that of boiling water. And the boiling water also, the same type of lichen, it produces different type of dye by either ammonia fermentation method or boiling method, or the dimethyl sulfoxide method, that is a DEM method. So this three type of methods, a single species of lichen will produce different type of dye, different color of dye. So the color of dye depends upon the type of process we are following while extracting the dye. So with this, I start the video. My name is Ayantika. If you want to have any video regarding the algae, fungi, lichen, please subscribe the channel to get such videos, and I'll be starting the video. Before I start the video, I'd like to ask you a question, that what are the lichens, which of these four lichen, they are very commonly used for litmus dye? I'll be answering this question in the end of the video, but if you know the answer, then please write in the comment section. Ammonia fermentation method. Now, before I start the various method, I should say that the very beginning process is same. That is, the lichens, they are collected and they are cut into pieces. Then they are grounded, and then they are seeped in chemicals with continuous stirring, either in wooden bath or the stone bath. And according to the type of chemical it is used, there are three processes. One is the ammonia, that is generally they use urine, traditionally used. Another is the boiling water, where boiling the lichens are soaked in boiling water. And another is the DEM method, that is the dimethyl sulfoxide method. And all these three methods, the initial process is same, that is collection, chopping, grounding, then seeping the dye in these chemicals with continuous or occasional what to say, stirring. Then it is seeped in the chemical for 1 month, and then the after that 1 month, the lichen is removed, and the dyes are either pulverized, that is converted to powder and stored in that form, or stored in paste form, or they are used then and there by soaking the various materials that we want to dye. So the basic process is same, but the method but the chemicals that we use are bit different, and only the difference in chemical causes difference in color from the same lichen. Now, the first process we are going to discuss is the ammonia fermentation method. And in ammonia fermentation method, the very first lichen is Bryoria lactinea. This is a fructicose lichen belonging to Parmeliaceae, and it produces the secondary metabolite, that is fumaroprotocetraric acid. Now this fumaroprotocetraric acid, it is a dipsidone. Now what are dipsidones? Dipsidones are the secondary metabolites that are commonly found. It actually, dipsidones include a wide variety of secondary metabolites. Basically, they are present in all the species of lichen as well as fungi. And this dipsidone is a very important thing, because they have antibacterial, antiviral, antimicrobial, anti-tumor, anti-cancer property, anti-inflammatory property. So this dipsidones, which includes a variety of various secondary metabolites of lichen and fungi, they are useful both as a dye material as well as medicinal use. So this Bryoria lactoria, which has fumaroprotocetraric acid as a secondary metabolite, by ammonia fermentation method, it produces camoise. Sorry, I have written canoise. It will be camoise color. And next is Bulbothrix szechuanensis. Bulbothrix szechuanensis is a crustose lichen. Now it again belongs to Parmeliaceae, and it produces salazinic acid, which is a very common dipsidone if the lichens are concerned. So this salazinic acid, this is an aromatic dipsidone, and this dipsidones, it produces Mikado brown colored by ammonia fermentation method. Now, next is the Cetraria brownsia. So, this foliose lichen also belongs to Parmeliaceae family, and it produces electronic acid and alpha cholatoic acid. Now, this electronic acid as well as alpha cholatoic acid are again dipsidones. So they have medicinal property, and these produce light yellowish olive color by ammonia fermentation method. So next, number 4 is Dermatocarpon villerum. Now this Dermatocarpon villerum is this belongs to Ferrucariaceae, and they produce electronic acid and alpha colatoic acid. Now, this electronic acid is a very common dipsidones found in lichen and fungi, and they produce puffy olive color by ammonia fermentation method. The number 5 is Everniastrum nepalensis. Everniastrum nepalensis is a fructicose lichen belonging to Parmeliaceae and produces salazinic acid and proto-lycosteranic acid, having Mikado brown color by ammonia fermentation method, that is seeping in urine method. Now, Flavopunctalia sorediaca, this is a foliose lichen also belonging to the Parmeliaceae, and Flavopunctalia, it produces lecanoric acid. Now, this lecanoric acid is a very common acid. This dipsidone is found in Parmotrema and Usnea in great abundance. This lecanoric acid, it produces a buffy brown color by ammonia fermentation method. Next in our list is Heterodermia diadimata. This is a foliose lichen belonging to Phyceaceae. Heterodermia diadimata produces a vinaceous buff color, and next is the Heterodermia leucomelos. This is also a foliose lichen belonging to the same family, Phyceaceae, and it produces zeorin. Now, zeorin, norstetic acid, salazinic acid, and triterpenoidic acid. Now, this zeorin is a triterpene. Triterpenoids, they are actually just like the dipsidones. They have anti-inflammatory, anti-pyretic, anti-analgesic, hepatoprotective, and cardiotonic, and many other medicinal properties they have. This zeorin. So, zeorin has a lot of medicinal use. Apart from this Heterodermia fungi or lichenized fungi, this zeorin or triterpenoids, they can be found in other type of plants also. Especially triterpenes can be found commonly in the family of leguminaceae like bean, soya bean, and other type of lentils, and also in the spinach and oats. And norstetic acid and salicylic acid. So, norstetic acid and salicylic acid. Norstetic acid is dipsidone, and we have discussed salazinic acid is a dipsidones. So, this Heterodermia leucomelos produces tawny olive color by ammonia fermentation method. Lobelia retigera. It is a foliose lichen belonging to Loberiaceae, and they produce triterpenoid acid and thelaphoric acid, producing vinaceous buff color by ammonia fermentation method. Parmillaria subthonsoni. Parmillaria subthonsoni is a fructicose lichen belonging to very common family, Parmeliaceae, and it has atranorin, electronoic alpha colatoic acid. So, atranorin, electronic acid, and alpha colatoic acid, these are all dipsidones and produce Isabella color by ammonia fermentation method. Next is Parmelinella wallichiana. Parmelinella wallichiana, this is a foliose lichen belonging to Parmeliaceae and produces salazinic acid and co-salicylic acid, producing a deep olive or grey color by ammonia fermentation method. Peltigera rufescens is a foliose lichen belonging to Peltigeraceae, and it produces the same metabolite as Parmenella wallaceiana, and it produces ivory color. Now, Ramalina conduplicans. It is a fructose lichen belonging to Ramaliaceae, and it produces arsenic acid, saccharic acid, and salicylic acid as the secondary metabolite, and produces Isabella color by ammonia fermentation method. Ramalina sinensis. It is a fructose lichen belonging sorry, it's a foliose lichen. It is a Ramalina rufescens is a foliose lichen. Sorry, I was discussing Ramalina conduplicans. Ramalina conduplicans is a fructose lichen belonging to Ramaliaceae, and they produce arsenic acid, shikakaic acid, salicylic acid with Isabella color. Then Ramalina hassei. Ramalina hassei, it is a fructose lichen belonging to Ramaliaceae. So this produces arsenic acid, shikakaic acid, and olive yellow color by ammonia fermentation method. Now Rochella montegii. Rochella, it produces erythrin, and this erythrin, it is a colorless compound, but that acts as a dye stuff, and this erythrin produces naphthalene violet. Sterocaulon foliosum. Sterocaulon foliosum, it is a fructose lichen belonging to Sterocaulaceae, and Sterocaulon foliosum produces atranorin and lobaric acid. So this lobaric acid, it is a depsidone, and atranorin I have discussed in the last slide, and it produces Isabella color. Now Stichia, it is, sorry, I have written a wrong spelling. It should be Stichia nylandrica. Stichia nylandrica, it is a foliose lichen, and it belongs to the family Lobariaceae. So Stichia nylandrica, it produces atranorin and gyrophoric acid. This gyrophoric acid is also a depsidone, and it produces dark vinaceous, that is a pinkish purple color. Stichia platypoides, it this is also belonging to Lobariaceae, and it produces arsenic acid. Now arsenic acid is very common acid found in most of the lichens, so it produces Isabella color. Then is the last is the Xanthoria parmelia. Xanthoria belonging to Xanthoriaceae is a crustose lichen, and this is a very pollution tolerant lichen, and it produces parietin, which is a very good coloring matter, and produces pink color by ammonia fermentation method. Next is the boiling water method. Again, Bryoria lactinea, this also synonymous to Alectoria lactinea. This I'm discussing the same type of lichen and three different process. So the name of lichens will be same, the secondary metabolite will be same, but the color will be bit different. And so this Bryonia lacteria, which I have discussed earlier, foliose fructose lichen, which belonging to the Parmeliaceae, also synonymous with Alecteria lactinea. So this produces fumaroprotocetraric acid, and color is pinkish buff if it is boiling water method. Now Bulbothrix szechuanensis is a saxicolous lichen and produces buffy brown color by boiling water method. Cetraria brownsiana, this lichen is very common found to cohabit in the along with the bryophytes. So Cetraria brownsiana produces ivory yellow color by boiling water method. Then is the Dermatocarpon vilera. This it is mostly found in the aquatic, semi-aquatic region, growing along the rock, and this dermatocarpon, it produces a marguerite yellow color. Now, Everniastrum nepalense, it is this lichen. This is a very prized lichen, mostly found in the tropical, subtropical area, and actually this trade of this has been banned. The harvesting has been banned now, so it's actually become a endangered. So after banning also, even they are illegally traded, this Everniastrum nepalense, and they produce a chamois color by boiling water method. Now next is the Flavopunctalia soredica. This foliose lichen, it is a very ruderal lichen. It is mostly found along the roadside trees, tree trunk, and even in the open forest area. So this Flavopunctalia soredica, it produces orange color or cinnamon color depending on the boiling water method. Next is Heterodermia diadimata. This produces a white color by boiling water method. Next is the Heterodermia leucomelos. Now this foliose lichen, they are corticolous as well as a saxicolous, that is they grow on tree or rock, and it produces a pinkish buff color by boiling water method. Next is the Lobelia reticera. This is also called smoker's lung lichen because of its appearance, similar appearance, and this has been so used in traditional medicine to in various type of lung diseases. So Lobelia reticera, it produces cartridge buff color by boiling water method. Parmellaria subthompsoni. This fructicose lichen is mostly terrestrial lichen, and it produces ivory color by boiling water method. Parmelinella wallichiana. This foliose lichen, it is very cream or olive green color, depending upon whether it is hydrated or dehydrated. And so this Parmelinella is produced clay color by boiling water method. Next is Peltigera rufescens. Now, Peltigera rufescens, this is a foliose lichen, grayish to brownish color, and this lichen is mostly found in the temperate region. And this Peltigera rufescens, it produces white color by boiling water method. Ramalia conduplicans. Ramalina conduplicans, this is actually, this has got many antimicrobial property, this corticolous lichen. So Ramalina conduplicans, it produces a cartridge buff by boiling water method. Next is Ramalina sinensis, and Ramalina sinensis, it produces olive green color by boiling water method. And this Ramalina sinensis is also a very indicator species about air quality. And next is Rochella montagei. Rochella montagei, this produces a very ivory yellow color by boiling water method. And next is the Styrocaulon foliosum. Styrocaulon foliosum is it is also distributed from polar to tropical region. So you can see that it has a wide variety of range from tropical to polar, so it can tolerate both heat and cold. The Styrocaulon foliosum, and it produces chamois color by boiling water method. Now next is Stichia nylandrica. I may remind you that it is a wrong spelling. Sticta, sticta, not R. And the Stichia nylandrica, it produces chamois color by boiling water method, and Sticta platypoidis, it produces white color by boiling water method. Last is the DMSO method. That is, DMSO method means dimethyl sulfoxide extraction method. So, by this method, Bryoria lactinea produces marguerite yellow color. Bulbothrix chatwansis, the Saxicolous lichen, it produces a red yellow color. Cetraria brownsia, that is produces again red yellow color. Dermatocarpton villerum, this temperate region lichen, it produces light turtle green color. Everniestrum nepalensis. This is a very endangered species of lichen, and it produces red yellow color by DMSO extraction method. Flavopunctalia soredica. This is a very hardy species of lichen, and this produces marguerite yellow color by DMSO method. Next is the Heterodermia diademata, that produces cartridge buff color. Heterodermia leucomelos, this produces the primrose yellow color. Loberia retigera, this Loberia retigera produces clear fluoride green. Parmelia subthomsoni, this terrestrial lichen produces marguerite yellow color by DMSO method. Parmelinella wallichiana produces this wood brown color. This wallichiana is actually a foliose lichen. So Peltigera, next is the Peltigera rufescens. Peltigera rufescens, this temperate lichen, it produces turtle green color by DMSO method. So next is Ramalina conduplicans. Ramalina conduplicans, this Ramalina conduplicans is a corticolous lichen, and it produces turtle green color by DMSO method. Ramalina sinensis, it is, from the name we know that it is mostly found in China region. This is Saxicolous as well as corticolous. So Ramalina sinensis produces white color. Then is the Rochella montigi. It produces marguerite yellow. And next is the Stichia nylandrica. Stichia nylandrica, it produces this dark olive color. Actually, this grows on both wood as well as rock, and it is found in very humid area. Next is Stichia platypoidis. Stichia platypoidis produces olive buff color by DMSO. Last becomes the question that I asked in the beginning of the video, that which is the common species of lichen that produce from which litmus produced. Now I should say that all these four species of lichen, they produces dye, but among them the first two are the very common species from which lichen which litmus dyes are obtained. All the four species we can obtain litmus dye, but the first two are very commonly used. So Rochella tinctoria and Lecanora tinctoria, they are synonymous. Rochella tinctoria belonging to Rochellacea and Lecanora tinctoria belonging to Lecanoraceae. So they are synonymous, and the main dye it is actually orsil or orsil. This orsil produces this dye called orsil. So this dye orsil is a purple dye, and it is used mainly to dye leather, wool, silk, but it is not approved as a food colorant. So this purple dye, it does not, all the lichenic dyes do not require any mordant. That is, mordant is a metallic substance that helps the dye stick to the textile or any other substrate. So all the lichenic dyes, they do not require any mordant, nor does the litmus dyes. So all the lichenic dyes also have a very important character, that is they are fast on they are very fast dyes, means they are tolerant to heat, they are tolerant to sunlight. So this orchil is sometime adulterated with wood dyes, that is either sapwood dyes. So though variola and parmillaria also produce litmus, but rochella or licanora, they are very common. And if they are after production of this dye, generally any paper is the dye is soaked on paper, that is used as a litmus paper. But this dye can also be stored in powdered form, and this dye is actually obtained from orcinol by ammonia fermentation, and by ammonia fermentation orcinol is converted to orcine, which is again converted to orchil. So this lecanora or this ammonia method is used, and this rochella, this is a fructicose lichen, and it is dorsiventrally flattened, and then it forms a very cushion like material on the top, and this is very sensitive to freezing. And oh, one thing is that this orsin, it can be also obtained from shale oil, but that is very cost expensive, and as well as shale oil is itself very cost expensive, and the process of production of this orsin from this lichen is pretty much the same, and it is produced by ammonia fermentation method. All the all the four lichens produce this dye, but commonly the rochella and licanora, that is the A and B, will be the answer. Lastly, we come to the conclusion. We see that in the if all the lichens are considered, the most common family is Parmeliaceae. So for the dye is concerned, most of the Parmeliaceae lichens produce dye, which is followed by Rameliaceae and Lobariaceae. And the most common secondary product that the lichens produce, of this dye lichen that we have discussed so far, they produce is the salazinic acid, followed by electronic acid, arsenic acid, and atranorin. So with this, I come to the end of video. If you have any question regarding dye or any other lichen topics that I have discussed, please write it in the comment section. And if you like the video, please share the video with your friends, and subscribe to my channel so that you can get more updates on the videos I'll be making further. Thank you.